Greetings, great people, literature lovers. Welcome back once again, and thank you for joining today. I have a little bit of a cold, so sorry if I sound a bit muffled or even more annoying than I usually do. But you know, when life seems to be out of control and everything is crazy around the world and there seems to be no relent and no reprieve, literature, books become more important than ever. And one of the reasons for that is that you will find reading a classic like Frankenstein or Dracula from the 1890s that society felt disturbed and troubled and like there was no future and no hope, and this was their way of dealing with it. And what you will find is that as you go through the decades, cycles repeat and history tends to repeat, and each time it seems worse than the previous, and potentially it is worse than the previous each time. But we may sometimes blow things out of proportion. And anyway, what I'm saying is that literature and books and works of fiction that are based on reality and history do help you to get through things. And the book that I want to talk about today is actually not a work of fiction at all. I just wanted to begin by discussing that. But I wanted to just recommend, for those of you who have heard me read Charles Bukowski's poetry or have seen me talk about the books and the works of Charles Bukowski, if you are more interested in discovering more about his life, a book that I strongly recommend is titled Charles Bukowski by Stephen Calonne, from the Critical Lives series, which the Critical Lives series has biographies of people like Salvador Dali, Dostoevsky, Samuel Beckett, and so on and so forth. And as you will see, this book is quite heavily marked with lots of notes stemming back 10 or 11 years when I was using the book myself to write my master's thesis, which I wrote on Charles Bukowski. And this, at the time when I did my research, was the definitive scientific biography of Charles Bukowski, and it certainly helped me tremendously. And for over a year, this was my constant companion, along with many other books, of course. I would literally be lying in bed surrounded by Charles Bukowski's works and this book on my pillow, or I'd be sitting at my coffee table drinking a beer or a glass of wine, and this would be beside me, and the coffee table would be littered with Charles Bukowski's works. So, published in 2012. Go out if you are interested in learning more about Charles Bukowski. David Stephen Calonne. Sorry, I think I missed part of his name earlier. David Stephen Calonne. Go out there, get hold of that book, do some reading on Charles Bukowski, understand more about his background and his life, and it'll give you some deep context into why Charles Bukowski's writings came about, and the mindset of the man behind the great works. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.